Dr. Akin Akinpelu, Mrs. Shewade Damola has actually laid a very solid foundation, and now that brings forward the importance of the discussion around stakeholder engagement. With 20 years experience in educational sector, and then of course, after having interacted with people in various fields, especially now with consulting, so I'm quite sure that you're familiar and you must have interacted with different people. So this question is the question of how. How do you think that because yes, education is important. Education of course is the foundation upon which nation building can happen. How then can we as educators begin the journey of stakeholder involvement? And that is the parents, the students, the schools, and of course, the government parastatals and even the politicians. How do you think we can begin this journey?
Thank you very much, Mr. Leke. Let me say good morning, everybody. This is not because everybody said that, but I did not attend Corona. But I know almost everything about Corona. So guess who I am? I was once a teacher at Corona School. And
a proud alumna of the Corona I teach.
And I say a big thank you to the management for having me here. A lot about my life is also tied to what I learned at Corona, but I'm going to share a few around it. So you talk about stakeholder engagement. How do we begin to bring things together? So the first thing I would say is there must be a table where these conversations are taking place. So about 2 or 3 people have mentioned the room and they have mentioned tables. So the people that sit at the table, a few things I think can begin to go down. Number one is what I would call a participatory or a social dialogue. Social dialogue is very powerful and very informative because everything in life starts from the place of conversation. Everything you want to do will come from the place of conversation, and that leads to design table. So we need to begin to have what we call shared dialogue going on. There must be what I would call participatory decision making. Participatory decision making. If you are not in the room, how would you begin to participate? How can you be there in the days decision making is being made? What are you going to do about it? Or we are just going to be what you would call beneficiaries of people's actions for us. So I think whether we're parents, we're teachers, we're children, government, I think we need dialogue to begin, and let's start talking about it. Let's start speaking to this thing. We should not get tired of speaking, although we should be able to inspire action as we begin to speak, to say, okay, let's begin to see the things that we can do. How do we begin to affect policy? How do we begin to deal with the things that we talk about? Then number 2 thing is the decision-making process. Number 3, I want to talk about sustainable educational solutions. It's very important we begin to think in that line. How do we sustain the things that we do in the education sector? It's important that we begin to look into that direction, because if you always, there's something called learned helplessness. If you always have to wait before things are being done, at the end of the day, you will talk all your life and you may not be able to get anything sorted. So I think that we should begin to have the dialogues, the decision making together, and let's begin to create sustainable educational solution. I hope that surface. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talking about integrity. Again, AI was brought in as I was writing my note. You know, preacher, teacher, lawyer, preacher, you know, but so I wanted to make it short. Integrity is integrity. There is no religion that supports stealing or cheating.
Correct.
Cheating in Nigeria is a problem in the school system. School problem, out of school, the millions that are out of school. They're out of school, those who are out of school maybe because they couldn't pay school fees, maybe minimal. It really would be nice, Mr. Akinpelu, if someone could do research, or Dr. Prof, if someone could do research to find out children who are on the streets smoking and into trouble because they can't continue with school. They didn't do well in WAEC and NECO. They carried certificates they did not work for. They cannot defend it. And that's why I pity universities. Universities decided to do what they call post-UTME because of it. This is a round table, and I'm told it's beyond, this is beyond Corona. If we are going to move forward, what are we going to do about it? Thank you.
I just suspected Mrs. Akin Akinpelu was going to call my name. I suspected. So I think the research should be done. I honestly agree. It is true that, and so research is one major thing about me that I do. It is true that you have many of the children outside who are carrying fake certificates. They cannot defend the certificates that they have. They are smoking and they are constituting nuisance, or just saying their nuisance value is increasing on the street. I think that it is in Yoruba, permit me to say this, that they say that it's something that touches everybody, and it's the work of the stakeholders. So, for example, you ask yourself a question: what kind of teacher taught those children? How did they pass through those children? How did they pass through those teachers? What was done? I remember something happened to me in my first year at Corona. I think this was Corona Agbara, as a teacher. I greeted a young lady, which I mean, this story I put up in a book. I think when I wrote the book, The 7-Star Teacher, that was my chapter 1. I greeted the girl walking down the aisle, and the girl did not answer me. She gave me, just gave me this one-thumb neck kind of thing and walked away. Then I asked 3 other students, is it that in this place they don't greet people? She says, well, we've been greeting you. I said, but who didn't greet you? I said, that particular girl said, if you like yourself, leave her alone. She said, every teacher can tell you that if you don't want to get into trouble, leave her alone. So they gave me the code, leave her alone. That endeared me towards the lady. I want to know why you should be left alone. So I noticed that she was not doing well. You know, let's assume the lady's name is Jay, just for the purpose of confidentiality. So Jay was not doing well. I asked her friends, how do I become her friend? They said, they can't say. I said, just tell me one music she likes to listen to. So they told me Beyonce, that she likes to listen to Beyonce. I was in year 12 green as at that time. And I said, Beyonce, truthfully, as a man of faith, I don't know any song by Beyonce. But for the purpose of this experiment, I will go learn a few things around Beyonce. So I opened up my laptop, I learned about 12 songs solidly, and refused to leave me till date on Beyonce. So I learned it because I had just 1 week for that crash course. Some of them, just the chorus, I couldn't pick up the stanzas well. So one day during the break, I played the song. I knew she was passing by. As she was passing by, she heard the song. She turned back. She said, who is playing my kind of song? Now I'm the student. I said, I. Said, wow, you like Beyonce? I said, Beyonce is the best. Said, really? I said, yes. So let me see your collection. So she came, she saw 12. She was like, wow, you're my kind of teacher. You're my kind of teacher. So the next day she was passing by again. I was playing. She said, oh, you just love this Beyonce? I said, yes. I said, do you like Beyonce? She said, yes. I said, so sit down, let's talk. Then I'd done a research about her. So you know how you want to do things, you want to do something negative and you don't want to be caught. She wants to do something negative and she wants to be caught. Why? Because her parents are abroad and it looks like they came to punish her by bringing her to Corona school. So then she will now tell the head of school, now that you have caught me, expel me. You know, that kind of thing. So I saw her and I said, So I'd researched about her and I said to the girl, you see, I just want to discuss something with you. And she said, what? I said, it looks like many parents don't understand the young people growing up these days. They don't understand them. There's this strong dichotomy that when they say things to them, they don't understand, they don't listen to them. And the girl looks at me again and said, what? I said, you are saying that? I said, yes. I said, do you have a story close to that? I was just speaking, word of knowledge. But there's something called word from knowledge. This one was from knowledge. I'd researched. So and she was like, oh, that's my case. My mother dumped me here. This is what happened with my father. This is one. Said, I'm tired. This is what I'm going to do. I said, what do you want to do with your future? She said, I have a dream that I'm going to open the world's largest strip club. That's what she said, strip club. I said, that is good. I'll support you to get in there. I will hold you by the sheets. Leave her and just go. Is that what we are doing as teachers? There's a path for the students. Some of them don't even want to learn. But, like they say, no grief for them. Okay. No grief for them. Do all you can to help them. That's the truth. The parents' side is there. So I think that we will do the research for the purpose of empirical data, but I would say that this is a very, very strong thing in the society that it will take every one of us to unanimously solve. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I see.